Everybody, Paul Caldwell here. Thanks for being on the chairman's call today in the U.S. And in some other countries. Actually, it's a national holiday. U.S. it's a national holiday, but I also know that we service many countries and communities around the world with Organo. So here we are doing our what is in the United States Memorial Day, and in other countries national holidays. So listen, a few things. First of all, for those of you the first time watching this, just be advised, this is a weekly call that I do every Monday, and it's really just to give an update. And Edward, thank you very much. I just saw the social media channels come live, so that's wonderful. Thank you. Can you hear me okay, by the way, Edward?
Yes, sir, loud and clear.
Oh, perfect. Thank you very much. Anyway, what I want to let everybody know is that I do this call every Monday, if this is your first time. And the reason I do this is it's a sort of a state of the company. And one of the things we always address is the COVID-19 issue. I'll do that very briefly here today because I have other things to talk about. And I also think that we're deep enough into that now just short updates. And you can always look on the COVID-19 page on the Organo website. If you can't find that information, just send a message to GRM, Golf Romeo Mike, GRM at organogold.com. And the GRM team will get back with you and get you the right link and so forth. But anyway, what I want to say about COVID-19 is, look, it's not time to let up on supporting your communities. There are still lots and lots of people in hospitals around the world. Although a lot of the countries are easing, things are opening up more. Restaurants, because economies just simply can't stay closed forever, or they're no longer viable, and that just can't happen. So in the United States, for example, we have openings around the country, but it's to varying degrees. So while this is, as I always say, a global pandemic, it's a very local problem, a very local challenge to overcome. So what I want everybody to do is to still keep that focus, keep the responsibility word in your mind as you think about things. How are you dealing with this COVID situation? And whatever decisions you make are what you do, right? So if you choose to wear a mask, wear a mask. If you choose to not to, and your community allows that, then whatever's within the regulations and the laws where you live, and the guidance from the authorities and the medical personnel that know and that probably know best, even if they're making predictions, or they made predictions of massive amounts of casualties, and the number was lower. Well, the number was lower in relationship to the number of casualties forecasted, but that doesn't mean it's a low number. It's still in most places that have been affected by this, that's still, in relative terms, that's still a lot of people. And every life and every person, every human matters. So it's still a life. And this COVID-19 virus is still out there. It's not gone. And even there are some people that say it's going to resurge during the flu season. So that's another thing. So what are we doing as an enterprise inside our ecosystem to make sure we address all of these things? Well, we're staying responsible. We're not letting up. We're continuing to operate in a very safe, controlled, and contained environment with how our products are handled, how our logistics systems are managed, and how our licensing and regulatory framework is able to become and remain flexible, so that if this virus were to resurge in any way, we're prepared for that. So as far as loosening up is concerned, at Organo, from a supply chain perspective, we've shortened our supply chain. We've really shortened it, tightened it up, and at the same time made it more flexible, so that we can continue to serve all of our distribution partners and valued customers around the world. I know there are many customers now that have started to watch this, because the distribution partners have begun to let their customers know that they're welcome to come onto this call. So if you're one of our valued customers, thank you very much for being on here. I really appreciate it, because it gives me an opportunity for you to get to know me a little bit, and the company a little bit deeper than maybe just a consumer supplier relationship, because we want to have a deeper relationship. We consider you part of our overall global ecosystem. And it's very important that we keep you informed. An informed customer is a better customer in my mind. I think if we keep you informed and up to speed on what the company's doing as well, that's a good thing. And if we keep you informed on new and innovative things that we're doing to make your customer experience better, then that's also a good thing. So that's why we invite our customers to everything, because it's really an important piece. These are really very important relationships and so forth. So from the perspective of COVID, we address all of those constituents and those constituent groups within and outside Organo that touch our ecosystem, or all of those certainly that are part of and inside our ecosystem. So I just want everybody to know that. And I want you to know that we are still focused on COVID-19. We haven't shut down our COVID-19 response teams. We haven't done any of that. We're staying on top of this. We're continuing to measure and manage accordingly in all of the markets that we serve. So that's all I have to say about COVID today. Now let's talk about the business. Let's talk about Organo and you. I will say that the logistics systems have really kicked in over the last 4 months, 5 months, and have done a great job of making sure we have enough stock and safety stock in our warehouses around the world. And we did have in North America, we did have some delays, unfortunately, because some of the products actually sold out, and they sold out because there were some logistics issues that we encountered, that the company encountered, and we had to work really, really hard to get back to where we are now. But that's happened. A plan was put in place, a structured plan. That plan was worked to plan. And now you see that the products are back in the inventories in North America. That when we sold out of some products in North America, that really just impacted North America. It did not impact the rest of the world. But we have had some logistics issues late last year, and even into the beginning of this year a little bit, in some of the other countries, like Bolivia is one of them. You know, some of the Latin American countries, well, one of the Latin American countries really had the logistics issue. That was Bolivia. But those people are amazing, and they worked through a coup, not a coup, a potential coup, a real crackdown from a very hard line dictatorial type government into a new election that elected a new president, and they're in a new dawn, new day kind of thing in Bolivia. You know, I'm not a political person. I don't really get into politics, except I monitor everything. I just know that the situation got very difficult to do business, and the Bolivian distribution partners stayed the course. They joined tightly with corporate, and together we kept things together. So they deserve the biggest of kudos and thank you for all of their hard work. So we really appreciate those, every single person in Bolivia. Also Peru. Peru is starting to grow now as an Organo Latin American country that we're servicing. Peru's been on the books for some time, and I like to see when something that's been there for a while starts to really, you know, kind of grow again, kind of on the chart. It's going like this. I like to see it do that. It's really, really terrific. Starting to see some of that now happening in certain parts of Peru, mainly Lima and the surrounding areas at the moment, but that will catch on. So that's the deal. Our logistics systems are great. It really comes down to Paul Mason and Norm Perret working very diligently to get these things done inside the ecosystem or the enterprise. So if you ever get a chance to say thank you to Norm Perret, or you ever get a chance to say thank you to Mr. Paul Mason in London, who is our, he runs the global logistics for Organo, give him a thank you. Those guys do a really good job every single day with reporting and with making sure that all the products are there. And also they're scheduling for new product releases, new things that are going to be coming out soon. inside Organo. So they're scheduling for that. They're working, they're getting those products ordered and so on and so forth. So they've done a fine job. So just FYI on that. The next thing is I'm starting something new. First of all, the chairman's bonus from last year, we're going to do it again this year. But the chairman's bonus from last year, we still haven't taken the trip because it kind of bled in. Things were indicating that we might have some challenges with this COVID-19 situation. They were indicating that in China back in January timeframe. And we decided we needed to pull that and reschedule some things related to the actual trip. And so we're rescheduling that right now. And we will let all of you that were the winners of the chairman's bonus, we'll let you know the new destination and the new dates. And we've been working diligently to lock those back in. And that's going well. We'll do it again this year. And it'll be very interesting to see, who wins the chairman's bonus. I think it'll be announced next month. I'd like to have like 6 months or something on the run from now on. So if we launch it for June, July, August, September, October, November, so we'll have July, August, September, October, November, December on the qualifiers, and then people can run for that and win that. And then in 2021, we'll actually take the trip. So some of you might have 2 wonderful trips back to back coming. Wouldn't that be awesome? Also, another thing I want to talk about here. I'm looking down because I made some notes that are important to bring up here. One is the Star Achiever program. We're about to release pretty soon the new Star Achiever program. This is a Star Achiever Plus program, and it takes the existing Star Achiever program and really makes it something that you can, you could really spike up and you could achieve great things with the new program. Basically, it's to continue to do the same thing because you continue to want to earn Star Achiever. But what it does is it lets you aggregate stars. So you can have X amount of bronze stars equals 1 silver star. And then when you get a certain amount of silver stars, you get an award for that. And these are significant awards, by the way. And then when you get a certain amount of silver stars, you get a gold star. When you get a gold star, you get another awesome award. And then when you have a certain amount of gold stars, you get a platinum star, etc. And then a certain amount of platinum stars, and you get something really amazing and a reset and some just, I don't even know if these kind of prizes, if these kind of awards have ever even been given out before in any venue. I know some of the insurance companies award their sales reps in significant ways sometimes, but not like this, I don't think. But anyway, I think you're going to love this program. So the other thing is I want to say about Star Achiever, because I've been digging into this program, I've been looking at some metrics, some reports, some numbers, and I've been talking to people. Some of you with regard to Star Achiever, it's important to know that some people thought that they still had to buy $500, you still had to buy $500 and have $500 worth of product purchases, and then you take that product and you go out and you sell it to your customers, right? That's not the case anymore. And that hasn't been the case for some time, but I've noticed that in talking to some people still didn't realize that yet. So the reality is that if you have a bunch of customers, if you have customers, and if you don't, you really should go get some, because that's what this business is all about. Get your customers up and put them in, make sure they have online accounts, make sure they have online customer accounts, because by having an online customer account, their order, when they make their order, that credits to you against your Star Achiever, because that creates PQV, and that creates a sale, or a purchase by the customer, right? So what I want to make sure is that everybody understands you don't have to purchase all that. You could purchase what you purchase for your personal consumption every month, And then the balance of whatever your customers purchase online through their customer back office accrues to your benefit of Star Achiever. Now, some people that are doing that are having amazing success. For example, I had a guy this month, and I will feature him next month or next Monday because I want to dig a little deeper. But the guy achieved Star Achiever before 7 a.m. on the first day of May, May 1st. So the first day of the month, boom, was already Star Achiever. Some of our leaders I talk to, they have 20, 30, and 40 Star Achievers in their group the very first day. Why is that? Because they structure their business that way. So if you want to know how that happens, get with your organizational leadership and ask them, hey, how can I achieve Star Achiever the very first day of the month? So it's out of the way. I've achieved it. My customers have their product being shipped on the way to them. And now I'm Star Achiever. Wow, now I have a whole month to go grow my business and share the Organo experience with many, many other people and begin to enroll new distribution partner after new distribution partner after new distribution partner to scale my organization. And I get the opportunity to take the whole month and engage with new prospective customers and enroll new customers into the system, etc. So you get to actually a whole month, and it's not about achieving Star Achiever anymore because you did that the very first day of the month. So now beyond that, you go achieve these other goals. How many people are you going to introduce the Organo experience to? So if that's 30 people a month, one a day, then that's your goal, right? If it's 3 people a day, that's 90 people a month. And that will really accelerate your business if you actually do it. Very few people do, but the people that do are the ones that are crossing the stage, hitting the ranks, and winning the day. Because what happens? Well, let's just look at that. So out of those 90 people that you share the Organo experience with, let's say that half of them, 45 of them, are open and willing to have a conversation. They were either looking for entrepreneurship already, they've been thinking about a home-based business, they want some additional supplemental income in their family, whatever it is. Or maybe they have some big bodacious goals to retire at 35 or 40 years old and have a reliable residual income stream starting from then for the rest of their life. Whatever it is, wherever you fall in, some people have that kind of goal. Some people have a goal to earn an extra $500 or $250 a month extra to help pay some of the bills. Whatever it is, from an earning money perspective at Organo, right, there's a way that happens. So, and it's all about customer first. Now, let me show you how that works, though. You need to find, or you should be finding, the people out there that are open to a conversation about the Organo experience. So let's say you do 3 a day, 3 exposures a day, 90 days, 45 people are open to have that conversation. Out of those 45 people, you introduce the Organo experience to, let's just say out of the 45, 20% of those people, or 9 people, let's say, are willing to have a conversation about the business as an opportunity from the perspective that they want to earn some additional income stream for whatever their goals and their reasons are. And through a great series of questions, of course, you can find all that out, because you're going to be working together. You're going to be partnered up in the endeavor for some time. So you need to work together in order to do that. So what the point I'm making is that if you had those 45 and 9 of them, which is 20%, are willing to have that conversation, that's 9 people that are open to becoming distribution partners, right? Now, out of that, though, now you have out of the 45, now you have 36 people, or I'm sorry, 36 people that are not open or didn't want to have a conversation about the Organo opportunity. So 45 people that you can now share the Organo products with, that you can now have a conversation about the Organo product experience and the services that we have, the the Travala, the OG Pay, the service platform, the BU, the beverage business. I mean, you could go on and on, but you're also, the way you're going to work with those customers also should be through a series of questions. And I'm gonna feature some people here in just a few minutes. I've got my my names and everything right here, because they're doing amazing things doing this kind of thing, and I'm really just asking the right questions of people. So those of you that are out there, and there are principles and there are techniques, right? The principles are based on one reality. Your business will grow based on your activities, because your activities have to be in the right measure, so in enough measure to matter. In other words, you have to do enough of it, and they have to be the correct activities. So enough of the correct activities every single day. So it's about a consistent pattern of daily revenue producing activities. That's really important. So that's number one. Now you've got all these people over here, 36 people for customers. So what do you do with these people? Well, you give them a great organo product experience. That's what you do. And you find out what they want. What are their goals? What are their objectives? Are they trying to lose a little weight? They've been sitting at home for a long time. So have they gotten a little fat? Maybe they need to lose a little bit of fat. I don't know. Maybe they want to. Maybe they want to get more fit. Maybe they need to learn about our OGX, the OGX line. Okay. So those are the kinds of things that it's really important that you think about. And now is a premier time, maybe like never before in the history of this enterprise, where there are lots and lots of people considering innovative entrepreneurship, considering earning additional income and locking that type of extra type of residual income in, so that they can save money. But but again, this is not about COVID-19 and all of a sudden a bunch of people at home and a bunch of people are laid off and a bunch of people are this and that. So, man, let's go get them on the back of COVID-19. I think that's predatory. I don't think that's right. I think that's a wrong way to approach things. Clearly, yes, people are sitting at home. Clearly, yes, people, maybe putting on a little bit of punch and a little bit of extra weight, and they're not feeling as healthy. Or maybe because of COVID-19, maybe they are thinking about becoming more healthy, because the more healthy people seem to weather the storm better. But plenty of really healthy people have died from this thing. So that's not a sure thing either. The reality is, when there's a global pandemic and a health crisis like this, that's exactly what it is. And that's exactly why I decoupled. I decoupled the messaging around COVID-19 at Organo. I took it out of the MarCom, the marketing communications team, because this is not a marketing situation. This should not be used as a marketing situation. This should be, so now we have two lines of communication. We have our Chief Communication Officer line of communication, which is where the COVID messaging and the things that we're doing and the things that I say on this call about COVID every week, that's where they come from. Those messages come from. And then the marketing communication, the marketing messages from the company to help you become a want creator and create other want creators, that comes from the marketing communication, as it always has. So the reality is, there's always a lot of people out there looking to talk about innovative entrepreneurship. There's always a lot of people out there looking for a better way to improve their life circumstance, their family financial situation, their financial situation, all of that, right? And that's because people really value two things. They value their time, first of all. That's the first thing. They value their time. And they value the value they can get from the money they have. So it's not always about making more. It's really about getting the most value for the money they have. That means when you have low income people, you're not talking about a high income situation. But at Organo, the opportunity to benefit and get more value, it really truly exists. More value for the money that they have. So if we can innovate as an organization, as a company, and upgrade the way we do things in order to in order really to create a disruptive environment. So we want to disrupt all the things that are in the systems and in the processes that are not high value. In other words, they don't create a lot of value. So that's the waste and all of that. So we innovate to disrupt. We disrupt to transform. We disrupt to transform the way people think about how they do something that's valuable to them. Hence, they get more value for the money they have, no matter how much or how little that might be. Doesn't matter. What matters is they get more value for what they do or for what they have through Organo than otherwise, if they don't have Organo in their life. And that value can come from a lot of different things in a lot of different ways. And I'm not going to go into those details because I simply don't have the time right now. But just understand that it is very important for you to understand that as you go and as you grow. So I would, if I were building as a distribution partner of this business, I would be on the phone every day, at least for probably I work every day in 90-minute blocks. I find it a very efficient way to do things. I work 90 minutes and then I take a break. I would suggest that I would be doing that. I would work and I'd do 2 90-minute blocks a day, and I do nothing but I'm on the phone, on the social media, on the text messaging and all of that. And I'd just be creating activity, correct activity, creating exposures, follow up, follow through, these kinds of things, and really get the thing cranked up. And I'd be pointing all those people to a Zoom. I'd be doing Zooms, 3-4 Zooms a day. And my Zooms today would be from invitations that I made last week, maybe some from the week before, because I'd have my Zooms all scheduled and I'd just be knocking it out of the park. And I'll tell you, I'm quite confident that if I did that, it'd be a great experience. And I'd move right up this commissions, right up this compensation plan, because you can, because others are. So speaking of that, something new. The new thing is called the Chairman's Spotlight. Now, the Chairman's Spotlight is something that I really wanted to dig into the data, and I needed time to do that because I needed time for the data to show up and me to get some real numbers and really figure out the KPIs, that's key performance indicators, inside the enterprise and inside our ecosystem related to our valued distribution partner network out there. So, for example, today I spoke with Laszlo Pataki. Laszlo's from Italy, amazing guy, in the business in January, doing all the right things in his business through introductions, just creating the correct levels, high levels of activity. He's not in his 20s, he's in his 40s. He's a great guy from Italy. And I talked with him today because he showed up on my radar. So anybody on here can start showing up on my radar, because now I have it tuned up to look for specific things that people are doing. And when you show up on my radar, you're going to get in a special little group, because for me, it's really important to reward the people that are engaged in the correct activities at the right level. A guy named Gabor Fanagi in the UK. Awesome. I mean, amazing stuff going on there. And the things that have happened, and Gabor is just doing great things. We're talking about requalifying and star achievers and all of that. I've got, let me see. I've got some others here. I've got Sandra Castillo. Sandra Castillo is Sandra Castillo Gonzalez in Mexico. I spoke with her today. She's doing great stuff. I mean, she has the opportunity, she has the potential to be a diamond in this business for sure. And so she just keeps cranking it up. I have Andrew Skopik. This is a great story. Listen to this. How did Andrew Skopik achieve all the things that he's achieved? Well, one of the main things that he did is he focused on having his people achieve the global growth bonus, and that was just an amazing thing. And by focusing on that, focusing on helping others make the achievements, right? Andrew, in and of himself, he's had some great achievements himself. He requalified Ruby. This guy's going to be a diamond in this business. There's no doubt about it, because he also focused on the chairman bonus and achieving that. He's focused on doing events and meetings now online and so forth. So you watch that name right there, Andrew Skopik, and you'll see that great things are going to happen there with that gentleman. Another lady, Liliana Rock from the United States. Oh, and by the way, Andrew is up in Ontario in Canada. So great growth going on up there. Liliana Rock down in the United States. She is a new Sapphire, achieved new Sapphire in April. And she is doing terrific things. She's brand new in the business. She just achieved Sapphire. And I think she's going to be as well. She's really focused on the vision. She's great at vision casting, as I understand it. She's great at sharing the opportunity and really creating that organo experience. She's a want creator. People want to be around her. And that's terrific. She's focused on personal development. She does team calls. She does the video calls with the Zoom and all of that. And she's inherently teachable. So congratulations again. That's another name you should watch, Liliana Rock, right? Great things are going to happen there. So, these are just some of the people for today's call. I could go on, and I will go on next week. I'm sure I'll have others that show up this week on my radar. But right now, those are names to watch, right? Because those people are doing the right things. They're doing the activities, and they're doing the activity in enough measure to matter. And through that process, they are really making something that's going to make a huge difference. So watch those folks. But you know what? More importantly, you become one of those folks. You become that. Show up on my radar. And you will, if you do the correct activities and in the right measure, and you achieve some things, and you're focused on all these different things and metrics. I mean, the global growth bonus, I would, if I was brand new in this business today, I would focus everybody. I'd orient everybody in my business that I enroll to achieve the global growth bonus. Because I know that if I do that, then I'm positioning myself, but more importantly, I'm positioning those new people that I just enrolled into the new distribution partners that I just enrolled. I'm positioning them for Sapphire, because that's what the global growth bonus does. Plus, it puts an extra extra bonus money in their pocket early on to help them fund their business operations. So they earn their startup funding that way, right? Through their earnings. So just think about that. What a great way. What a great way. If we're talking about having a meritocracy here, and we're talking about free enterprise, and we're talking about visionary entrepreneurship and innovative entrepreneurship, that's a very innovative bonus, because it achieves three key things. It positions the person for their growth to Sapphire immediately, because you can't achieve the global growth bonus unless you are positioned that way. It puts more money in their pocket early on in the genesis of the business, so they can fund the growth and development of their business as they go forward. That's number two. And number three, once it works for them, they can duplicate that within their organization, and that's how they'll achieve Ruby and Diamond, and that's how the other people in their organization will be on that same track, on that growth track. That's the point of it being called the global growth bonus. So anyway, think about that as you think about this. Now, the last thing I want to say on this call today, in the spotlight section, is the spotlight section isn't just about distribution partners. It's also about our employees inside the ecosystem, the people that actually do all that work behind the scenes every day. They get very little recognition or credit for it from people out there, mainly because you don't know who these people are. So let's go through this for a second. So I just have 3 people to talk about today. I'll do some more on next Monday. The people are doing some great things inside Organo, and I appreciate every single bit of it. But for today, look, here's a gal that's doing some amazing things. Shannon Houston. Shannon runs the Organo. She runs the global relationship management team at Organo. And inside global relationship management sits a compliance team, sits the communications team, not the marketing communications, but general communications. But she looks at all the marketing communications from a compliance perspective to make sure all the right disclosures and disclaimers and so forth are on all of the videos and all of the pages and all that stuff. And I just want to say that I've come to know Shannon the last year and a half since we owned it on the business here. Shannon has been with Organo for a lot of years, and she makes great things happen in that space. When you send an email to the grm@organogold.com, that goes into Shannon's team. And those are the people that are helping you, because customer service is in there. Everything's inside that GRM team that is market facing. So if you get a minute, send a message to Shannon Houston and let her know thank you to grm@organogold.com. Next guy, Paul Mason. Paul he runs the global logistics team at Organo, which has been completely refurbished and rehashed over the last several months, over the last few months, so that it could really be globalized in a way that we want it to run and managed in a way we want it to be managed. I'm talking about just from a pure career knowledge perspective, having the right software in place, having the right functions in place to facilitate that massive growth Organo is going to experience around the world, and the knowledge of global markets. That's the other thing. So Paul Mason has done a terrific job. He, as I said earlier, he and Norm Perret are the ones that really worked out in North America how to make sure that we could not only just make sure that we have enough safety stock for spikes in sales, but also to make sure that we have enough product in stock right now, putting our faith in all of you to go out and create that consumption, make those sales, build your businesses. We put the faith in that would happen. So we go into a bit of an overstock mode, probably have more than we need right now in most markets of most SKUs, which is exactly how we want it, because we believe that you guys are going to, and we see that you are, which is wonderful, and thank you, really accelerating the growth of your businesses now. And a lot of it has to do with the online. A lot of it has to do with Organo as an entire ecosystem. We're becoming a better digital version of ourselves. All of you are, and if you're not, you probably should consider it, doing the same thing. So thank you very much. And thank you very much, Paul Mason, for all that you do for Organo and helping all these people make sure that they have that supply chain continuity and security and surety in place. It's very much appreciated, and I'm sure all of you very much appreciate it too. Mr. Joel Bin. Joel Bin has been with Organo since I've been with Organo. Joel and I have worked together for 17, 18 years now on various projects, and I really have a high degree of respect for Joel. Joel runs Organo's technology innovation group. Now, when we took over Organo, the business used to have an IT group, like most companies have information technology group. But information technology doesn't mean anything to me. It doesn't mean anything. It's just information technology. Okay, it sits in the back end, and it's a cost center. So you try to do as much IT work as you can for as little amount of money as you can, and all of that. And I just don't think that's where the future's at. I think that's kind of dumb stuff. Anybody can do that. My 14-year-old son can do that. Much of it, I mean, it's just plugging things in and making sure computers are working and networks are up and databases, and same old, same old. So we changed it. Instead of IT, Organo doesn't have an IT department anymore. Organo has a TI department, which is technology innovation. They do all of the things any IT department would do, but they do them just as a matter of course, because that's really what they are. It's not difficult. We took all of the applications inside the business, and Joel took all of those down, got rid of all of those boxes and racks and technology, all that hardware and computers and all that, put everything up into the Amazon cloud globally. And this is months and months of work, folks. Put it up on Amazon so it's very flexible and elastic, so it scales up and scales down with the business. We now have all the Organo videos around the world on Amazon's Akamai servers. That's A-K-A-M-I, Akamai servers out on the edge of all the internet. So the media, as it scales in any particular market, it automatically adds more bandwidth and more resources. So you'll never have videos that are clunky and skipping along and they go, and that kind of stuff. None of that will happen. You won't have high degrees of latency or anything. So any of our videos that are served up, whether they're app-based from our applications, from all the new apps that we have, like the marketing funnel or the OG Pay or whatever, those will work super fast because they're being served up right on the edge of the internet to those communities where that page or that app is being opened. It's awesome stuff. And Joel Bin is largely responsible. It's not just Joel. I mean, Joel would tell you, hey, it's not me, it's my team, because that's the kind of guy he is, but he's amazing as well. So, you know, you could send kudos to Paul Mason, Joel Bin, and Shannon Houston, again, through that GRM link, grm@organogold.com. And with a thanks to Shannon, a thanks to Paul Mason and Joel Bin. I'm sure they will appreciate hearing from you, the people who benefit most from all of their work that they do. So every Monday I'll have this spotlight where I feature some of the amazing distribution partners and some of the people, the employees inside the enterprise, all working together inside this amazing ecosystem we call Organo. Well, that's all I have for you today, folks. Again, be safe, be responsible, have fun, and go out there and make sure that you focus on the activity, drives the productivity, and that's what creates the liquidity or the financial rewards that come from being a distribution partner. It all starts with doing the correct activity in enough measure to matter. Thank you very much. Have a great day and make it a great week. Bye-bye.